And we at Next Chapter Forward we live to assist Black men over 50 who want to relocate out of the United States. If that is you, then you have come to the right place. What's up, fellas? It's your man, point guard, Stephen Bardo, coming back to you. Welcome to another edition of Next Chapter Forward. Today, we're talking about the great American exit. We ran the numbers so you don't have to. It's going to be a lively discussion about Black men over 50 and why we've been ahead of the game, contrary to what a lot of people believe. Black men have been doing this, leaving the country for decades, guys. And I've got personal examples. If this is your first time, I'm your point guard, Stephen Bardo. I'm a former professional basketball player, played with Dallas, Detroit, and San Antonio of the NBA, played in Italy, Spain, France, Germany, Venezuela, and Japan overseas. And I just completed year before last, a 25-year career as a national college basketball television analyst for every network that you can think of that covers college basketball. I also did NBA, also covered WNBA. So basketball is ball is life for me, if you know what I'm saying. Let's talk about this great American exit. Okay, people call it a movement. Some call it running away, but what it actually is, it's the most intelligent, healthy financial decision that a Black man can make right now. And I'm going to show you that in this video. Okay, first, some background information, guys, of why this trend has really taken place. Okay, so U.S. passport applications are at an all-time high. All right, I think that goes without saying. We don't need to really delve into that too much. There's various reasons for that happening, but that is a known fact. Searches on how to move abroad are up 300% since 2020. Now, of course, that could have been that pandemic that took place. That probably was a lot of it. A lot of people had time on their hands to do a lot more research, but also within the last 2 or 3 years, there's a reason why, living abroad has risen the way that it has. Okay. And then I don't know that a lot of people really know this fact. There are over 9 million people now that are U.S. citizens that live abroad. 9 million, over 9 million. And at the last estimate that I've seen here in Mexico, there are 2 million Americans living in Mexico right now. So if you were to relocate and come to Mexico, you would be one of many. It wouldn't be something that would be unusual for the Mexican locals or for the American immigrants that are immigrating into Mexico. Okay. But guys, here's what the mainstream media won't tell you. Black men over 50 have been doing the math for a long time, longer than anyone really. We've already done the hard part. We know what the costs are and we know what it feels like. And so I'm going to run some of those numbers through you today and give you some of the stories that I have with my own experience living overseas now for 14 months and the various men that I'm in community with. There's a mentor of mine. His name is Cuddy Bacon. And Cuddy is a self-made millionaire. He made his money in education. And one of the things that Cuddy did was he realized that he wanted to be outside the United States. So he picked Bahia, Brazil, where I'm going next month to visit. Bahia, Brazil is the blackest city outside of the continent of Africa in the world. Bahia, Brazil is like West Africa transported. Okay, that's what it's like. So my mentor, Cuddy, he got a place in Bahia. Oh man, this is 25 years ago. He was talking about, he had a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment that overlooked the Atlantic Ocean. He had a maid, he had a driver, and he had a cook. A maid, driver, and cook, guys. 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. Now, this is 20-something years ago in Bahia, Brazil. But his monthly outlay was $1,100 a month. The driver, the maid, and the cook. That was all in the monthly expenses. Now, fast forward 25 years, that same situation, which I'm going to find out when I go next month to Bahia. But from the research that I've seen and from the brothers that have been down there, I don't think that lifestyle is much over $2,000, guys. Where in the States are you going to be where you can be looking at an ocean in a nice apartment or condo or whatever? You can have a cook, someone that comes in and cleans and washes your clothes and cleans your place, and someone that drives you anywhere you want to go. And you can have all this for $2,000. And that's an inflation adjusted number. Okay. That's about the ballpark I've seen. I've seen $1,750. I've seen $2,250, but let's just call it $2,000 a month. Think about that, guys. Being in a black city with nothing but African culture surrounding you, great food, beaches, beautiful people to get into community with. A cook, a maid, and a driver, all for $2,000 a month. All right. So, guys, here in Mexico, where I live, the peso in the last year has gone, it's gone between 18 and 17, and the dollar is losing purchasing power to the Mexican peso. So, guys, this is not going to last forever. It's you still get that arbitrage now. You guys know what arbitrage is. You take American dollars and you go somewhere else and live, and you've got an arbitrage situation that your dollars go further in some of these different countries than they do in the United States. So when you can earn US dollars and apply them to Mexican pesos, Panamanian Bolivar, I believe it is, Colombian Bolivar. I don't know the monetary unit that they use in Brazil yet, but I will soon. But the dollar still really stretches, but it's not going to last forever. Okay. So you got to keep that in mind. Is that something that, you want to take advantage of, or are you going to sit back and conjure up these excuses that will keep you from living your best life? Okay. All right. So guys, you've done corporate America for 30 years. You've absorbed the stress, the microaggressions, the quiet tax of being black and white spaces. Y'all, you recognize that, right? Your body is keeping score and your doctor is seeing the results. Hypertension, heart disease, kidney failure. I can go on and on, right? Cancer, all the different ailments that black people suffer from in the United States continues to build year after year, that you find yourself in, I'm not going to call it what I wanted to, but you find yourself back in the States, you wanting more, there's more out there. Every year that you stay, guys, is costing you your health. The Social Security window, your check doesn't get bigger when you wait. But what if you can buy abroad? But let me rephrase that. There are a lot of people who are struggling whether to take their Social Security early at 62 or take it later at 67, right? What I've seen, if you take it at 62, you just give me examples, ballpark figures. If you take it at 62, you might get $2,000. At 67, you might get $2,100. Okay, it's not the waiting doesn't pay off, guys. But what can your Social Security at 62 buy you? What can $2,000 buy you, right? And every year that you hesitate, guys, it buys you less and less, is my point. So I'm really not trying to scare you guys, but I'm just here to tell you the window's still open. We don't know how long that's going to last. We don't know how long the math is going to keep mathing up. Okay? But here are the things. These are the things that you need to think about when you're thinking about relocating. The cost of inactivity is costing your health. It's costing you the ability for these US dollars to still run hard and work hard for you in these other countries where the dollar still has an advantage over the local currency. Okay. But I can't just leave you with that. I got to break down some things, because here's what gets in our way a lot of times, man. And let me know if I'm wrong. Type in the comments what you're thinking so far, and if I've got things correct. Okay. Here's a couple of some of the mental barriers that keep men, even as I'm going through these numbers and show you guys what's available and what's possible. Here are some of the barriers that I want to address that keep brothers from really making the move that they really should. Okay, my family needs me. That's a big one. I get it, right? Most of the time, our family needs us. If we're breadwinners in the family, if we've got children, if we've got aging parents, like I do, I've got adult children who are doing well, but they still may need me, right? Your family needs you, right? But here's the thing that I'm going to tell you, and this has been my experience. You can be more present and financially stable abroad. I'm going to say that again. You can be more present and financially stable abroad than broke and stressed at the crib. One more time for the people in the back that didn't hear me. You can be more present and financially stable abroad than broke and stressed out at the crib. Okay, I just gave you some examples of why that is. The lower financial stress that you can find in some of these countries, that can also give you a higher quality of life without the racism, without the microaggressions, without the systemic racism that is killing your health. Guys, that's possible. Number two, I still have income that's tied to the United States. All right. But there's remote work, there's investments, there's Social Security, there's pension plans. There are a lot of different ways, guys, that your money does not have to be tied to a geographical or physical location. There are so many ways now to generate income without a Social Security, without a pension, that you can figure out. That people are doing it every single day. You can figure it out. Okay. All right. Well, I don't think that I'll be safe leaving the United States. Do you know that people actually talk to me about that I'm in Mexico, and I literally laugh at them because I have to laugh to keep from crying because of the ignorance that people have about living outside the United States when they've never even stepped foot outside the United States. They're the first one to tell you how dangerous Mexico is, but live on the south side of Chicago, or live in St. Louis or New Orleans or Camden, New Jersey, or East St. Louis. But they have the nerve to tell you that where you live is dangerous. But yet they haven't looked at a crime statistic in their own neighborhoods, in their own regions. They've never looked up crime statistics in Mexico. Okay? So I'm not safe where I live in Mexico. Yeah, right. I live 6 blocks from the Caribbean Ocean. I walk outside and I'm not suspicious. People don't look at me as a threat. You know what they look at me as? As a rich man. And this is something I wasn't going to talk about, but I'm going to give you this just to give you this. Guys, we have a family, we have a men's group dinner every Thursday night. We go to this restaurant. It's called Boston's Pizza. It's really good, right? And so the 6 of us walk in, and the hostess serves, they seat us. The waiter comes over. He's taking care of us. The manager comes over. And I mean, the service is impeccable, guys. The food is really good. And I'm sitting there like, man, why are we getting this treatment? And Kareem, one of the brothers that's been here 7 years in Playa del Carmen, said because they see rich brothers. And he didn't say brothers. He was talking slang. He said he sees rich men, Stephen. That's why they're treating us like this. You will be viewed as a rich man, black men, if you relocate to Mexico. That's how you're going to be viewed, because in reality, you are rich compared to the rest of the Mexican citizens who make about $500 a month. $500 USD per month is about the average salary here in Mexico. Okay? So I don't walk outside and feel targeted or threatened. I flirt with attractive female police officers. I go out of my way to say hello and try to work on my Spanish and say a complimentary thing, tell them how beautiful they are, and they speak back. When's the last time you struck up a conversation with a female police officer in the United States? I'll wait. Put in the comments. I'll wait. Okay. Third, you shouldn't run away. Oh my gosh, this drove me crazy. When I first relocated to Mexico, there were so many people telling me I was running away. I was a traitor. A traitor. How can you be a traitor when you're a prisoner of war? How does that work? When was I ever given full citizenship in the United States as a black man? I'll wait. That BS that they wrote down on the Constitution, does that protect you guys? Did that protect Tamir Rice or the hundreds of other black people who've been killed by the police in the United States in the last 5 years? Does any of that protect us? Hell no. Hell no. No. So I'm not running away from nothing. I'm a point guard. I have point guard vision. I see the floor. I see the court. I know where all four of my teammates should be. I know what the defense is trying to do, and I know how to set up my teammates to be successful. I don't run away from shit. I ain't scared of nothing except the creator. Okay? So you shouldn't run away. Man, black men, you don't owe the United States nothing at all. You owe your family and the people that you love your very best. But outside of that, you don't owe the U.S. shit. Absolutely nothing. Okay? So miss me with all that crap. Talking about, oh, you shouldn't run away. You can't put a number on what it feels like to walk out of your building, guys, in the morning and you not be suspicious. Okay? All right. So if you like what I'm putting down so far, go to my link and get your global scouting report. It's an 8-question quiz. It only takes 2 minutes to fill out. And at the end of it, you get a score of your readiness to relocate. You'll either be a dreamer, a planner, a packer, or you'll be ready to relocate. Okay? And you automatically get added to the Next Chapter Forward email list. That's where we have a lot of discussion going on. But we also have a community that I've built that I'll put a link into my bio as well. I want you guys to go and get your global scouting report first. Fill that out. Get your readiness to relocate score. Or there's another way. You can type free throw 15 in the comments. I'll send you a link. It will allow you to schedule a free 15-minute call with me. Okay? So go get your global scouting report. And why not? And while you're at it, type free throw 15 in the comments so you can do both. Take full advantage of the resources that Next Chapter Forward offers black men over 50 who want to relocate out of the United States. Okay, let's keep going. All right. So I'm going to give you some of my lived experience now that I have been outside the United States for over a year. And, you know, what was my experience like in the first 90 days I got here? Guys, I'm going to kick it real to you. I drank a little bit more than I probably should have. I enjoyed the green a little bit more than I should have. And I also cried a lot. I had a penthouse a penthouse studio in a really new building that was from my private pool that I had on top of my penthouse. I could walk upstairs and go to my private pool. No one else had access to it. It was a nice pool too, nice size pool, right? I could sit in there in my floaty and I could see the Caribbean Ocean from there. And I had to heal, guys. I did a lot of crying. I did a lot of self-observation because I was developing a new identity. I had to let go of the ex-basketball player, commentator, someone that's, visible. I can walk down the street and people recognize who I am. I had to let go of that identity and develop this new identity of a sovereign black man as a point guard who is helping other black men find their most desirable places if the United States doesn't suit them the best. That was my first 90 days. I had to change my identity. Okay. What was one situation that I knew that I was in the right place? When I started spitting at this fine police officer and she was hollering back at her brother. That's when I knew I was in the right place. What was the one thing that was harder than I expected? The one thing that was harder than I expected, learning the Spanish language, right? As athletes, I think I told you I'm a former professional basketball player. And the problem that athletes have is that we think that we can apply what we did in sports the same way that we can apply it to anything else in life. Here's the issue with that. I didn't need to be motivated to go get better at basketball because I love the sport. My family, my dad played college basketball. My brother and sister, older brother and older sister played college basketball. I'm the youngest in the family. So of 3 kids, all 3 of us played college basketball. I was the only one to play professionally, right? So you didn't have to go tell me to go work on my game. That was fun. I loved it. With language, it's not always fun to try to learn something that you don't know or to get better at something that you're not as good at. Because I do want to speak the language. I do. I have a desire to do that. But was the desire at 58 to learn a new language and living comfortably in Playa del Carmen, where a lot of people speak English here? Is the motivation as strong for a 58-year-old learning Spanish in a place that wants to speak a lot of English? Or is the desire stronger as an 8-year-old who had a poster of Dr. J on his wall and watching his brother and sister hoop and get better and get accolades and things of that nature? Is that desire a little bit stronger? Of course, the desire is a boy who wants to grow up to be an NBA player, to work on his game, is stronger than working on my language skills. So one of the toughest things for me is I took a month-long intensive Spanish course that helped me get the basics, that now I have the basics, but I'm not fluent where I want to be. And so that was harder than what I expected. Okay. And what was the best thing about Playa when I first got here and I knew I was in the right place? Joining the group of black men that we have here that we meet with every Thursday night has been a godsend for me. They've helped me figure out different things that I need to figure out here. Where can I get this type of battery? Where can I get something that's not Mexican food that's actually pretty good? Where can I get this thing fixed? Where did you find a blender? I'm looking for free weights. What's the best place to go get free weights? All the different things that I needed, my group has my back. The brothers have my back. It was one of the most powerful things that allowed me to feel good about my relocation here in Mexico. Okay. All right. Let me see. Let me transition in what I'm doing here. Again, guys, if you're liking what you're seeing, type free throw 15 in the comments. Okay. So I'm going to give you this example and then we're going to wrap it up. Rent for a 1-bedroom condo here in Playa del Carmen in a nice neighborhood. Let's just ball out. Let's say $1,000, right? Rent for a 1-bedroom condo in Chicago right now in a nice area like Playa del, where I live in Playa del Carmen, a 1-bedroom would be Oh man, easily $2,200 to $2,500, right? The health insurance, private health insurance, where the doctor will come to your house if you're infirm and can't leave, is $150, $160 a month. You heard me right. I did not stutter. $150, not $1,000. That's common in the States. $150, and the healthcare system in Mexico is way better than the healthcare system in the United States. Okay, groceries. I struggle spending $300, $350 a month. So for me going out and my groceries, let's say it's $500. Let's say it's $600. So we're at $1,600 with rent, food in terms of groceries and going out. How much do you think groceries are and going out in Chicago? Let's just take a guess. Okay, let's say the groceries are $500 per month, which we know is still low, but let's just go with that. And then let's add another $300 going out. That's $800, right? So let's put $800 on top of $2,500 for that rent. You're at $3,200. What did I say here? You're at $3,200 in Chicago, and we're at $1,700 here in Playa, right? Okay. What else? I said health insurance, eating, going out, rent, and then what am I leaving? Oh, transportation. I don't own a car here. I walk everywhere, and where I need to go that I can't walk, I can jump in a taxi. So guys, my transportation costs are less than $100 a month. Okay. What are your transportation expenses in Chicago if you own a car? Well, gas is going to run you at least $100 a month. Parking is going to run you at least $150 a month. Insurance is going to run you at least $150 a month. Okay. So where are we at now? We said gas is going to be $100 a month. Said parking is going to be $150 a month, right? Insurance would be $250 a month. What is that? That's $500 already. We haven't put any oil or haven't done any maintenance, haven't cleaned it, haven't done anything. Okay, you get my point, guys? These are the differences in costs. And what I'm trying to tell you, Playa del Carmen is one of the most expensive places in Latin America to live. Okay? So I'm in one of the most expensive areas in Latin America to live, and I'm still 40 to 50% less than I would be in Chicago, where I lived for the last 27 years. That's the math, guys. Brothers over 50 have been doing this math for decades. It hasn't been talked about, right? Because we like to move. We don't like to put a whole lot of spotlight on what we're doing. But black men over 50 have been relocating outside the United States for decades. This is not a new trend. It's starting to get more exposure because people are looking at how difficult life has become in the United States. And if you want help from a point guard, I'm a transition architect. I help design lifestyles for black men outside the United States. That's what I do. If you're interested in working with me, you can get on a Country Clarity call. Go to my bio. The Country Clarity call is a paid call of 60 minutes. But I go through your whole scenario, everything, your family situation, your lifestyle requirements, what kind of climate you want. Is community important to you? Do you want to learn a new language, or would you rather, just speak English? We go through all these things. I break down what I see. I give you suggestions on what you can do, and then we move forward. I also have a total transformation package that I work with you for 12 straight weeks from point A to point Z, and I get you relocated to a place of your choice within 12 weeks. If these interest you, go to my bio. I have a link for all of these, okay? All right. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Thank you so much for watching Next Chapter Forward. We have been having incredible growth in the last 30 days. We've gotten close to 900 new subscribers. We've had over 30,000 views, and it's all because of you and your support, brothers. I love you, and I thank you for that. So go get your Global Scouting Report, type FreeThrow15 in the comments. And if you have any questions, I come back and answer all questions in the comments once this video is posted. Okay, guys, thanks so much for listening. Take care of yourselves. Until next time, holla, y'all.